Hello guys and welcome back. So today onwards I start with SQL function series. So in this particular function series I start with character functions. So character functions accept character data and return character values. So these particular functions accept two kind of data types like varchar and char data types, and length should be 4000 bytes. If any return value exceed these particular 4000 bytes, those particular values gets truncated without an error. Okay, even in output results it's not showing any error. Okay, just it truncated those particular return values. So here this particular character functions are divided into two types. One is case conversion functions, other one is character manipulation functions. So first we'll see what exactly case conversion functions. So these functions are used to convert casing from one character to another character. It means, let's suppose if you have some kind of data in uppercase, if you want to convert that particular characters into lowercase, we are using this particular case conversion functions. So today purely I focused on this particular case conversion functions. Tomorrow onwards I will explain this particular character manipulation functions. First we'll see how many case conversion functions exist. So basically we have three types of case conversion functions. One is lower, upper, init cap. So first we'll see what exactly lower function will do. So lower function converts alpha characters values into lowercase. It means if any characters exist in alphabet, that particular characters converted into lowercase. So this is basic syntax. First we should pass lower. After that we can pass either in expression or in column. Now I will show you practically how this lower function works. So go to database. First I will pass it as one expression. After that I will take some kind of data exit in the tables. Then I will explain this particular lower function. Now I take one expression. So select. So this is actual string, nothing but a expression. So this is my string. I will make it as this alias name as original string. After that I will use lower function. Inside this lower function I pass this particular expression. Now see, so I use dual table. Now if you run this query, see here this is my actual original string. This particular string exit in uppercase. Now whenever we use this particular lower function, this lower function convert this particular string into lowercase. So this is behavior of this particular lower function. Now I will show you on what scenario this particular lower function will help us in database level. So now I take EMP table. Okay, now first I will show you how exactly in my EMP table data exists. So here we have different kind of columns: employee number, e-name, job, manager. Like this we have different kind of data exit in this EMP table. Now I take this particular e column. Why? Because this particular e-name column exists in some character data. I take these columns, okay, to explain this lower function. So this particular column I mentioned in projection. Okay, select e-name. This particular e-name I mention as original string. Then I will pass lower function. Inside this lower function I will pass this column as lower. Same way I will take same job column in projection, job as org string 1. Then same I will pass, remove alias is not required. Okay, remove this one. Then I will pass same job column inside this particular lower function. then I will make it as lower job from emp. Okay, from emp. Now we'll see. So if I run this particular query, so original string is this one. Whenever we perform this lower function, all these particular characters converted into lowercase. Same way this particular job also. Okay, so this way we can convert one casing characters into another casing. Okay, now I will show you one more example. Even this particular single row function use in where class. Okay, so for that one I take same query ename. So if you observe carefully, this particular jobs exists in upper cases in this particular emp table. Now I take same ename in projection cases. Okay, after that I take jobs also in projection case. Okay, so from emp, so instead of these column names I take full table columns. Okay, so just I change this and where job equal to, but I pass this value in small cases. Now we'll see what will happen. See, so but actually this particular job column manager exit in uppercase, but here I pass these particular letter values in smaller cases, so these particular values in case instead, so that's why data is not populated. So for this things, first what I will do, whatever data exist in this particular column, I will convert that particular data into lowercase. Then whenever this data converted into lowercase, obviously whenever user passing this particular small letters, that particular data get matched, right? So here I pass it as a lower. Okay, now if you run this particular query, before we get 0 records, right? Or now if I run this particular query, now see records gets fetched whose job id equal to manager. Okay, so this way we can utilize these particular functions effectively. So when you should use, whenever you know all the rules, then you can easily understand, and also you should know behavior of this particular lower function, then only you will utilize, right? So this way we can utilize this particular lower function. And one more real-time scenario, on what basis these particular functions help us. Okay, I will take ename I will concatenate it with, okay, then designation is spaces. Okay, then I will pass it as a lower. Inside this lower I will pass it as a job. Employees information. Okay, or I will mention as a job information. From emp. Now if you run this particular query, see King's designation is president, Blake's designation manager. Like this also we can generate data based on our requirement. Okay, so that's why always you should expertise in these particular type of functions and also these constructions. Slowly in next lecture I will explain this concatenation operator, how to generate. Here we are manually provide these spaces. Coming lectures I will explain how to generate spaces automatically. I will explain coming lectures. Okay, so if you first time visitor, please like, share and unsubscribe the channel. Okay, so this is behavior of lower function. Now I will show you how this particular upper function works. So upper function converts alpha characters values into uppercase. Okay, so if any character value exit in lowercase, this particular upper function convert that particular values into upper cases. Now I will show you practically how this upper function help us in real-time scenarios. So now same scenarios I take, but I change this particular, instead of lower I make it as a upper. So here I change this expression as lower cases. Now I pass this one into this particular function, change this particular function name as upper. Now if you run this query, see this expression string exit in lowercase, but here it converted as in uppercase. Okay, so this way this upper function help us. Same way I take this particular query, instead of lower I make it as a upper. Okay, now we'll see what will happen. Upper, original job, I will make it as a upper here also, alias names. Just I change these particular functions. Same queries I use, but I change alias names and functions. Now see, now if you run this query, here you don't see any differences. Why? Because actual data exists in uppercase. Same data, if we pass in upper function, it doesn't display any differences. Why? Because actual this function behavior is convert any lowercase values into uppercase, right? But here data already exists in uppercase, so that's why same data it's trying to display. Okay, there is no changes in original thing and after using upper function. Now if you take one more example, same thing. First word I have capital letter and mid word I have capital letter. Okay, now if you pass this particular data inside this particular upper function, we'll see what will happen. Now run this query. See, even though first starting word with upper letter, it's not a matter. So even if you pass any data, first thing this particular upper function converted in uppercase. Okay, this is one thing. Second thing is, in previous case, first what we did here, first we are convert all this in lowercase. Instead of this one, we can convert this particular literal value in uppercase, we can search the data. So now see, here we don't get any data. So instead of applying this particular column, I will apply this particular upper function in this particular literal value. Now see what will happen. Upper, so close this parenthesis. Now if you run this query, so actual data exit in job column is uppercase. So whenever you perform this particular upper operation in values, obviously this particular value converted in uppercase, then that particular column values gets matched, then we return the data, right? So same way if you run this query, see now it's written data. Okay, so this is best way to practice. Why? Because instead of applying conversions in columns, we should apply these particular conversions in values. Okay, it will improve the database performance. So let's assume if you have lakhs of records inside this particular, based on these columns, it take lot of conversions required. It utilizes lot of memory. So instead of that one, first you will convert these values. So this is single value, right? In searching, it is easiest way. It will increase performance as well. So this is best way to practice now. So I hope you understand how this particular lower and upper works. So these are not at all complicated thing. These are very simple functions. Now we have initcap function. So first understand what exactly initcap function will do. So initcap function convert alpha characters values into uppercase of the first letter of each word. Okay, keeping all the other letters in lowercase. So here Oracle we have by default we have one delimits. If you having any word in space or special characters, then that particular uh, onwards it converted in uppercase only that after that particular word. Okay, this is particular syntax. Now I will first you should remember here default delimited of word in Oracle is space and any special character. Now I will show you practically how initcap works in Oracle. Okay, now say I take same example. Okay, whatever I write here, paste here. Now if I run this query, I will make it as a single quotes. Now run this query. See, wherever starting letter, okay, first it convert first starting letter as uppercase, remaining all letters keep it in lowercase. So wherever spaces we have, first to that particular after that particular space, first letter it converted as uppercase. Same way if you pass any particular special characters. Now see, I will pass one special kind of characters. I don't provide any space. I put just at the rate space. Okay. So these are special characters, right? So if you observe carefully here, see, after any first always it put first letter as uppercase. So this is default bit here. After any special characters occur, immediate that particular character converted as uppercase. Okay, this way this particular init graph works. Okay, now if you want to get any particular kind of these kind of scenarios also, we can utilize this particular function. So not in this case scenario, even one minute I will pass this one. Okay, so these kind of scenarios it's not working. Okay, even if you try this one, why? Because data in actual table data isn't purely in alphabet, but it will be converted only single character in uppercase. These things it's not working. Okay, on what basis it working? These kind of scenarios it works. Okay, now see, instead of this one, if you want to display this particular job column in first letter as in uppercase, then we should pass this particular initcap function. Now run this query. See, first letter always populated in capital letter. So these kind of scenarios we can utilize this particular initcap function. So I hope you understand how exactly this particular case conversion function works in data Oracle database. So on one more thing I will explain. We can utilize this way also all the functions where we can use in operator. Inside this in operator we can pass upper inside this upper I will pass it as a manager. Okay, first what exactly it will do, it will convert all these letters into uppercase, right? Then if you want to get all this data in lowercase also, we can manageable. Okay, we can pass as many values we require. This way also we can search data based on our criteria. Okay, missing right parenthesis, sorry. Now see, data gets populated. Even in class also we can use multiple functions. So if you practice this way, then you will easily understand all these functions. Okay, in next lecture I will explain character manipulation, how character manipulation functions works. I will explain each and every function with the rules. Okay, so if you are first time visitor, please like, share and unsubscribe the channel. Okay, thank you.